This world is hard. How do you not be miserable in it? Yet, in the struggle, occasionally there's flashes of beauty, and something within you whispers that there's hope for something more. Happiness, meaning, love, none of these are found on the surface of life. You have to go deeper.
It's never going to get easier. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's just not. Like,
it gets more fruitful though.
But you do get stronger.
Yes.
And you have more practice. You have more practice, and you build this kind of resilience. And I mean, I still don't have it all figured out, but you do get a little bit of a balance in there. And it says in Philippians 4:12, and I just hang on to this because it says, I know how to go low and I know how to abound. So you kind of learn in life, and this is just as somebody a little bit farther down the path, like you just learn that you can suffer well, hopefully, and that you can also thrive, and that life is dynamic, and you're going to have both of those. But the constant there is that God's breath through your life is the greatest adventure you're going to have, and you can always come back to that.
A lot of people talk about suffering and they talk about what they've been through or what they've dealt with. And they talk about scars and stuff. I mean, not to say that we don't have lasting memories and whatnot, but I see it as like we gain perspective. Like those scars are such huge teaching moments. They help define who we are. And hopefully we can, rise to the occasion and grant something positive. Because a lot of times in these really, really hardcore suffering moments, they are defining moments. And so it's important to realize that and try to come through the top.
You can look back at those scars and be like, I'm not doing that again.
Right.
Or I did that. Like, I overcame that. That scar shows me that I can do the next hard thing.
Absolutely.
And it gives us compassion. That's something that I think have just really been eye-opening and beautiful for me to see. It's like it attaches you to other people who are suffering.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, as horrible as it sounds, if you're you're in a dark place and you're suffering, and somebody, you're talking to somebody, they don't know about what you're going through, but they share something they're going through. I find that comforting. Because I know I'm not the only one suffering in that moment. There's somebody else suffering. And so you kind of are like, I want to be there for them. I want to be that friend. And it makes you feel like you can overcome what you need to overcome to be there for that person. There's times where you think, I'm not in a third world country. Like, I think like I'm struggling because I'm, have to eat this stupid diet or something. Or there's people who don't even have food. And it just brings you compassion for those people who don't have food. You know what I mean? It connects us in our humanness. There's a Padre Pio quote that said, it's under the cross you learn to love. And that's like, whenever I read that, that's what I feel is the times that I've suffered, it makes me love other people who are suffering. It makes me feel like I'm attached to them because it's as we're all connected in that. Every human suffers,
Yes, suffering is the hero builder. And I'm pretty sure if anyone looked at anyone they respect in their life, anyone who is, if they're cool or they're someone they look up to or whatever, a role model figure, it's because they've overcome some serious challenge or some hardship, and they're continually doing it. And that's one of the reasons we look to them, is because we're like, man, how do I do this thing? How do I not be conquered by this? And you see someone that's doing it, and you just want to run after them. But anyone who's really become like real or authentic or inspiring is someone that's earned that through a lot of hardship. And it's a perspective on their own. I would be a lot more annoying and just awful if I hadn't had the little bits of suffering I've had in my life. And again, as much as I curse them as I'm going through them, in retrospect, there's a gratitude there. Like, man, I'm glad I'm not like that anymore, at least as much. But also, I'm glad that I've been brought to this place where I have this just deeper peace or stability or whatever. I think that's important to not curse. Well, go ahead and curse your suffering, that's fine. But at least know that as you're suffering, some very important part of you is being formed, right? something that you're not going to want to trade in after it happens.
Well, you think about like movies and books and things, and like, you know, there's the main character always goes through some really hard struggle, like the world's against them. You think about Marvel comics and Star Wars and everything. They've always like, they come from this humble beginning and they get all these bad things that happen to them and they overcome these struggles, right? But even more than that, like they take these struggles and turn it into something bigger and better than you could ever possibly imagine. And take the struggles and actually use it against the enemy, almost, you know. But I mean, really, that's the story of Christ, right? Come from this super humble beginning, and right from the get-go is being attacked. And then here he's like, the devil is like, I finally got you, and I've got you up on a cross, suffering like no other man has ever suffered. And Jesus turns this into our salvation. You know, the worst case scenario is turned into the best case scenario. And God allows us to participate in this. This is what we are called to do, is to be Jesus in those moments of suffering and to take it. And yeah, we're going to be mad. It's going to be hard. But we're supposed to like make that fireball.
Yeah.
I was thinking of this weird analogy where, like, imagine you just dropped into like this dome world, right? And it's just all these objects. There's rocks and there's trees. And, well, you know, like a world. But then it's like there's just some command that comes in the sky, like, do stuff with this. So you're like, why? And it's like, build stuff. Like, forget that. But then if you recognize you're in like what is this, like the Hunger Games, right? Where it's like, oh my gosh, and it's like, hey, build your fort, craft some weapons, get ready to survive. All of a sudden, everything in your world just changed its meaning. And it's become a tool, it's become a defense, it's become protection, whatever. But it radically reshapes how you're doing it. So if people just kind of don't have any sense of story in their life, any sense of, hey, you're called to grow, you're called to be the hero, you're called to do something. There's actually meaningful stuff going on right now. You're a part of something. There's a game being played or a mission. If they don't have that, then you're just flattened, and you don't have the motivation. You don't have any reason to really do anything other than just sit around and whine and eat ice cream. Isn't that bad? After a while, it gets bad, I guess.
Yeah.
But if you have a sense of, okay, there's potential in this suffering, and there's even a story that it relates to. There's a start and an end, and I'm in the middle. And I think recognizing that, learning that we're living in the middle is a key thing, you know? And that's where like the Hollywood life is too often. Like you're just at the ending.
Right.
We keep expecting to get there, especially when you're young. It's always like, as soon as I'm out of high school, that's my ending. Yep. The problem-free life starts then. As soon as I'm away from mom and dad, as soon as I got my car, as soon as I've got whatever.
Yep.
And you keep, imagining this perfect future. But it's like you're still always in the middle. Once you get out of high school, you just start a new thing. And
something else is going to get thrown at you. Trust me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're trying to do this for youth with focused attention spans. So we're going to try to keep these not super long. So we'll take a break here and continue the conversation. Yes.
Yes.